Hey, I'm TJ Schwanke, and welcome to Outdoor Quest TV. You know, it's really easy to fall into that trap of hunting for nothing but inches of antler when you draw one of the most coveted tags in Alberta. But quite honestly, I just wanted to explore some new country and spend some time afield with buddies on today's hunt for mule deer. If I happen to shoot a big buck, well, that was just a bonus. And to that end, this hunt was a resounding success. I had several buddies join me over the course of this month-long hunt, including my good friend, Wes Schuett. Now, there isn't a man alive that knows more about mule deer than Wes. And he also runs one of the most successful mule deer archery outfits in the province. And he agreed to drop all of that to help me on the last couple days of the season. And am I ever glad he did. Now, I chose the 7-ram mag for this hunt. There was a real possibility of some long-range shots in this wide open prairie, and I wanted to be prepared. And in that, I was shooting the 162 grain ELDX, and I have not shot a more accurate bullet than the ELDX. And the great thing about it, it performs really well at the lower impact velocities often associated with longer range shots. Now, if you read internet message boards, there's a lot of people think that any performance other than a perfect mushroom and say 98% weight retention equals bullet failure. And that couldn't be more from the truth. Every bullet has its ideal performance envelope. Stray outside of that, and you're gonna get less than perfect results. You know, take the GMX, a monometal, for example. It needs impact velocities above 2,000 feet per second to expand reliably. Drop below that, expect problems. The LDX, it expands really well at lower impact velocities, but you're going to expect to lose some weight with closer range shots and higher velocity impacts. Now, that doesn't mean the bullet's any less deadly or that it failed. It's just simply physics.
As you can tell, it's a little cold out here today. Hard to believe, 4 days ago it was 24 degrees. It's only -1 this morning, but that wind is howling out of the north. And we're hunting mule deer, and we're looking for a big buck. We're here in Southern Alberta, and it's taken me 8 years to draw this tag. So, you know, we've seen some good bucks, some 170, kind of 180 kind of deer, but you know, there's definitely some 200s in this country. And, you know, we've got a whole month to do it in, so we're gonna put the time in and look. But big fire hazard here right now. Still hard to believe when it's this cold, but there's been lots and lots of fires. When this wind starts blowing, it gets bad. So a lot of the access is cut off. So backpack, boots, we're going to be doing a lot of walking, but should be an exciting hunt. I know we're going to see lots of deer. It's just whether we see the right ones or not. Well, we're just working our way along this coulee, and I just peeked over and there's about a dozen deer in the bottom, and I just saw a big framed mule deer. I don't know how big he is, but you know, he's definitely worth a look. That's one of those deer you hate to see first thing in the morning on opening day. He's a heck of a deer, and anywhere else in Alberta you should likely shoot him, and I likely should here as well, but you just never know what you're going to run into in this zone. So I think I'm going to let him walk. We've got a half dozen bucks down here with 2 that are definitely over 170, and he's probably in that 180 range. Beautiful deer nonetheless.
Outdoor Quest TV is brought to you by Hornady, accurate, deadly, dependable. Zeiss, we make it visible. Defense Aerosols, bear spray, for when your life depends on it. Closed captioning brought to you by BOWTECH. Discover the world's greatest bows, including the all-new Realm, BOWTECH's newest smart bow.
Man, oh man, we've seen some good deer today. The buck down here, he's just a little bit weak on the one fork, but old deer. You can see he's got that big pot belly and sway back, and probably on the downhill actually. And then just to the left of him, there's a 3-point that's quite a young deer and just lays way out there. If he ever grows a 4th point, he's going to be one heck of a super tanker here. So, but as you can see, the rut's starting up here. These bucks are really checking these does out a lot. We got another buck chase some does off, and we got these 2 bucks with this group here, and just been working these riverbanks ever so slowly, just peeking over, and it's really been working. Just haven't found the right deer yet, but so cool. This is such a fun hunt. Just like sheep hunting, but mule deer hunting on the prairie. Well, we're back out on the mule deer trail here. Took a week off in between, did a little bit of whitetail hunting, some elk hunting, and then got back out here. Figured we'd hit the rut full force this week, and indeed we did. I'm running actually solo today. I got a buddy coming out to run camera for me tomorrow, and I think legal light was at 7:17 this morning. And by 8 o'clock I'd seen 26 bucks already, so lots of deer out, and they're rutting hard. Haven't seen any giants yet. Saw one pretty nice one this morning, probably 170 deer, but just an old tank of a deer, just missing a little bit on some fork depths, but great deer. But, lots of time. The only problem is we've had so much snow here that all the trails we couldn't drive on because of fire hazard before, we can't drive on now because there's too much snow. But we'll get around as best we can, do lots of glassing, and just gonna check out along the riverbanks here right now and hopefully find that big guy we're looking for. Well, it's second day here, and woke up to a beautiful morning, and then all of a sudden the blizzard started and the wind's just howling out of the north, and we had whiteout conditions for a while. The snow's actually quit now, but still drifting pretty good, and it is tough getting around. But got my buddy Wes out today, and he's kind of breaking trail for us. I didn't want to come back in here with one truck. You get stuck. There's nobody coming to get you, so he said he'd come along, and so we got the 2 trucks in here today, and we've been passed up some great bucks yesterday, including one that was, he was an honest 185, maybe 190, but I just kind of want one of those deer that just gives me that wow factor, and haven't quite seen one yet, but still got lots of days left. But this is what we're driving in ahead of us here. Well, the weather definitely cleared up today, but man, it's hard getting around. These roads are just drifted right in. We punched out a lot of these roads yesterday. Got through all that hard crust from the previous snowfall, but they've drifted in even worse. The snow's not quite so hard, so hopefully we can get through them. I got my buddy Wes with me today, and seeing lots of deer today. I think they just hunkered down in that storm yesterday, and they are up feeding big time today. And good news is we're seeing lots of new bucks, and just got another good one out here. We've seen probably 2 or 3 bucks in that 175 to 185 class this morning. So still just looking for that one real giant. Well, we're getting broke through here today. It's just not something you do with just one truck. You get stuck out here. There's no cell service a lot of places, and you're gonna be in a lot of trouble. But 2 trucks, it's a little bit safer. So old White there is just plowing through it, and I seem to have no trouble going behind, so thank goodness we're good friends. With my buddy Wes here this morning, and what do you think of that deer, Wes?
Well, he's actually a pretty nice deer. Fairly decent, non-typical. He's crowned up on each side. I thought you were here to hunt big bucks. We're moving on.
It is a big buck. Outdoor Quest TV is brought to you by Stony Creek Hunting Gear. It's in the blood. Loa Boots, simply more. Silver Willow Taxidermy, see the difference. Safari Club International Canada, first for hunters. Well, it's our final kick at the cat here. The way these seasons work down here, there's four-day seasons, and we're in the final one now. It's Wednesday, and we got 4 days to get it done. We saw a really good buck last Saturday, and we just ran out of time on him, so hoping we can find him. It's kind of hard walking away from a great buck, you know, probably where he would have been Sunday morning, but we couldn't hunt, so the rut was still going pretty strong last Saturday, so we're hoping it still is. The big danger is once most of those does get bred, these bucks will just start cruising, and you know, everything we had patterned in the rut could be gone, but we'll see what today brings. We got just getting on legal light here right now, so there's kind of a big flat here. It's probably about 1,500 acres, and that kind of seems where a lot of the rut activity happens. So we're just going to put a lot of glass on a lot of deer here for a couple hours this morning, and if we can't find the one we're looking for, I guess we'll be putting some miles on foot. There's some big coulees nearby, so that's what they'll drop into. It's minus 11 here right now. It was plus 10 when we left home, so I suspect there's some big wind coming this afternoon, so it'd be nice to get it done fairly early here. If that wind comes, those deer are going to drop into those coulees, but with any luck, we'll find them pretty quickly.
Yeah, that's with that young 4x4, that's a big one.
Just looking, watching this one buck out here. He's got by far the biggest G2s I've ever seen on a buck, and unfortunately he's just crab clawed on the top, crab clawed on the front. He's probably an old deer that's really on the downhill, but he's just a giant. But things are really slowed down. I mean, when this rut stops, it stops, and you know, last week it was just constant action here, and you can tell these bucks are getting a little frustrated now looking for does. Nobody's really that receptive, so I think we almost better do something here. We got a few other hunters around. We've got one really good buck kind of bedded up right now. You know, definitely in the 180s, and seems every day you wait, you lose another one. We've lost a couple of our definitely B-plan bucks already. There was a big non-typical that we probably should have taken when we saw him, but we didn't, and some other guys got him, and good for them, but a few trucks around today, so if we're going to do something, we probably should do it soon.
Just came upon two just crankers here. They kind of have a little showdown. The buck just walking down in the ditch there is a much older deer. I think the one on the left's much higher scoring. But just two big tanks. Haven't seen either one of these deer yet. They just showed up.
Well, what do you think, Mr. Schwanke?
I think he's just another one of those young deer, but holy man, has he got inches?
Well, I think we made a decision. There's he's a good solid buck. He's a nice old buck out there. He's just nice clean 4x4. Probably going to go, you know, in the 180s. Anywhere else in the world, you'd be shooting that buck the first 3 minutes of the hunt. But what we're going to do is kind of drive around, get the wind, and then take off on foot and try and come in on him. So see what happens. I had a really hard time deciding. There's that really old buck we've been looking at. And you know, Vanessa and I were on him the very first day. I don't think he's going to score probably much more than 165, but he is old, he's heavy, just that cool old deer. And you know, this is just a classic prairie mule deer here. Nice, big, mature deer. Let's go take a look at him. If I decide to change my mind, I'll just blame it on Vanessa.
Outdoor Quest TV is brought to you by Alberta Outdoorsman Magazine, Alberta's only hunting, fishing, and trapping magazine. Deluxe wall tents, built in Canada for Canadian conditions. Midland Radios, communication for every adventure.
Well, my buddy Wes here. Wes has been, you've helped out a lot, man. We, mostly with that big white truck of yours.
Yes, sir.
We've had a tough year here. We got, a lot of this country was closed down to fire hazard for the longest time, and then as soon as it opened up, there was too much snow to drive anywhere. But last week we broke trail for, what, 3 days straight there, and you know, without you there's no way I'd have got anywhere, and it just wasn't safe going with one truck.
We were a trail maintenance crew. Yes, sir.
You probably know more about mule deer than any man I've ever hunted with.
I don't know about that. We're just trying to keep up with you guys.
This is only the second time in 4 weeks of hunting that I've put a shell in the chamber, so.
Is it time?
It's time. Let's go see what we can do. They should be, well, they're quite a ways away yet, but we're just gonna do a big circle. We got the wind now, and come in, see what happens. Tag along. Well, we're making up some ground here. There's a high hill about another couple hundred yards up there. We'll just try and tuck in behind it. I don't know if we'll be able to shoot from there or not. Everything so deceiving out here for distance, but we'll be closer than we were 5 minutes ago.
Yeah, you got him.
I can get on.
What's that?
I can get on.
May come in this decoy.
I'm on him.
She's gonna blow it for us.
Okay, here up he comes. There's our shooter on the left. There's a decoy over on the other side.
You are the mule deer master.
I don't know about that. Man, that was a lot of fun, you guys.
Holy, we've been, well, 4 weeks doing this, but that was probably one of the toughest stalks I think I've ever done. And thanks to this little girl right here.
Yeah, Molly. Yeah, look at him.
Beautiful, beautiful little prairie buck, eh?
Oh, man.
Oh. Beautiful.
I told you you had a sticker.
Yeah, right there, you're right. What a beautiful, beautiful buck though. Holy. He's a dandy. We'll get him set up a little bit, give you a little better look, but just a grand old prairie buck. Well, Wes, if that isn't a classic prairie mule deer, I don't know what is. He's just gorgeous, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. He's a beautiful dude.
You know, I think we saw some deer that maybe scored a little more, but you know, they just didn't have the age on them. And I said at the beginning of this hunt, I wanted to shoot an old deer.
He's aged. He's we've got some older deer kicking around. He's mature. He was ruling the roost, and he held his own out here against some of these super brutes. They're residents.
Just a beautiful, beautiful deer. I couldn't be happier. And you know what? he's a big deer, there's no arguing that, but it was a phenomenal hunt, and that to me is what I really wanted out of this. We spent 4 weeks here, looked at hundreds of deer, got an old prairie buck, couldn't have been better, and I really want to thank you for all your help.
Yes, sir. Had a lot of fun.
You've probably seen a little earlier in the show some of the trails we had to break to get to places, and the snow was just brutal, and Wes's truck just, it goes anywhere.
She kept on clicking.
It does. Hey, I want to thank you so much for joining me on this episode of Outdoor Quest TV. This was a really special hunt here in Alberta, and I want to thank you, Wes. You made it a lot of fun, and fun what it's all about.
For some of the best bear, moose, and mule deer hunts in the province, give my buddy Wes Schuett at Alberta Prairie Outfitters a call at 403-793-3906. These companies have provided products and services that are critical to hunts conducted on Outdoor Quest TV. Check us out online at OutdoorQuestTV.com. And don't forget to follow us on Facebook and Twitter.